I think we are on live feed, and it's really so exciting to be having this meeting and to be going live with JCI Europe Live manage the Corona crisis, manage the Corona challenges. We have very special guests with us today, and that's our really European board and our Secretary General. We are very excited they have taken the time to be with us today and to join us to really answer your questions and to tell us all about their plans in 2020. So we are getting started in a few moments. We have already started the live feed and are excited that people are starting to join us. I will give you a quick introduction to tell us all about their plans in 2020. So with that, we have our European Executive President Marion with us, and our Vice President, Executive Vice President Marion. We have our European Development Council Chairperson Natascha, and of course we have our JCI Secretary General Kevin, and we also have two special guests who will be presenting their projects later. That's Andreea and Isabel, and we are also very excited to have you with us. And then, of course, myself, Ruth, as EDC counselor, giving you the introduction right now. Since we are only a minute before 7, I wanted to use the time to give you a brief intro. And we have our other wonderful chairperson, Manuela, EDC counselor as well, who will actually be the moderator of this session and will be guiding us through this evening. We are really excited you are all taking the time of being with us. Actually, I hope everything is working as intended. So if not, please let us know in the chat. This is actually my first going live on Facebook via Zoom. I'm hoping everything goes as planned. Manuela, if you want to start the presentation, we'll also be talking a little bit about some questions that we had prepared for you, because we want to make this session really as active for you as possible. So you can actually also answer 2 surveys that we've created for you, and you see the Menti link here, and we'll be displaying them later. There is the question of if you're working on a JCI project at the moment, as well as what kind of JCI training you would be interested in, and we'll be displaying the results later on. So please, if you have a minute or 2, help us prepare the results for later. And of course, they'll be used in designing some of the additional programs for you. And with that, Manuela, it's only a minute after 7, but I'm really excited to be starting this meeting, and you'll hear from me again in the end. And I hope the technical part, which is my side today, will go right. So hello, everyone, and welcome to our session live on Facebook. We are really excited you're joining, and let us know your question, and I will be sharing them as they come at later times. Manuela, the floor and the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, dear Ruth, for the great introduction and also the promotion of the survey that you created. We're really interested in getting your feedback and input, and so we're also happy about your comments. So whenever you want to say hello, from which country you are, from which city, etc. So we're also happy to, if you share that with us. And of course, your questions. Feel free to comment as much as you can. We will try to make it all answer and happen and read. Please feel free to be with us as interactive as possible. We really feel honored that we have the 3 most important people for JCI Europe with us. Our Executive Vice President Marion, and Ruth already said, and European Development Councillor Chairperson Natascha, and our Secretary General Kevin. So good evening also to you 3. And thank you. And I think we will start with the first round of questions for you, because we are all very curious, I think, from the member side, what the plans and goals for 2020 from your side were, especially in this Corona time. There are some changes and some adaptations that we had to do. The communication is a bit different. Also, the JCI Europe live format that we have, the session this tonight is the second time that we have this format for JCI Europe. So something quite new. And so, Marion, we are curious to know what the plans and goals were from your side for your year 2020 as EVP.
Yes, thank you, Manuela. The plans that we started this year with are, one of the main things is knowledge sharing. I see a lot of great projects being done in national and local organizations, and I also see a lot of national and local organizations that are looking for that knowledge, or they are looking for ideas or looking for experience on certain projects. And I think it's a pity if we don't share that information between national organizations. So I want to look into methods this year to share that knowledge between national and local organizations to show what great things are already being done and how they are done, hoping that more people can pick up the projects or adapt them to their national and local organization, to their situation. And also to show to partners and to potential members who we are and what we do. And so that also brings me to the second point, is strengthening the brand, showing what we stand for, and also showing that it's more than just community projects. So we also have business-oriented projects. We are a network of young professionals, so that automatically makes us a business network. And also for personal development, it's all about learning by doing, or picking up projects, or following training courses, or conducting training courses. And of course, it's an international network, so it's all about connecting people across nations. And furthermore, I find it important to have a solid basis. So the admin side is also one of my goals this year, to improve like how things are done. Also the handover to next year on all levels. Handing over to the next team is something we do all the time in JCI. And I think we can spend more attention to that, we do it in a good way. So I'm also preparing our team, think about not only what you're doing this year, but also how you're going to transfer it to the next year. And that goes at all levels as well.
Good. Thanks for that explanation. And if we think of the situation now, how has the Corona pandemic affected the goals and plans, and if yes, in what case, in what sense?
Yeah, of course, it's harder to get together now, but I actually see a lot of opportunities. A lot of things are being done online, and that makes it much easier to share to a broader audience. And that is the kind of knowledge sharing that I was looking for. And this is kind of like a gift, you could say, that all of a sudden doing things online, doing things as a webinar, online training courses are becoming more normal. And I think that's a great opportunity that we should definitely keep even when the crisis is over, that we should do more things online and connect people more online. Of course, it's a pity that we, at least the European conference, will not be happening in May, and we're still looking at like what can we do with the European conference, ensuring the safety of our members and still adding value to our members. And we had some sessions in mind already to do in May. We will be doing the assembly online on the 30th of May. so that we keep that date earlier in the year so that we can make the decisions there and move things forward. For example, revamping the Step Up for Europe campaign that we're looking into. Yeah, we don't want to wait until the end of the year to make a decision on that. We want to already take a decision end of May. So yeah, I think it's an opportunity on one side that we do things online, but it's a challenge that you cannot just get together and yeah, do the sessions that you would want to do.
Mm-hmm. That's of course true. So Natascha, for the European Development Council, how are your plans, or how were your plans for and goals for this year?
Yeah, hi and good evening, everyone. Yes, so when we went into the year 2020, one of the crucial things for EDC was basically reaching more people in everything we do, touching base even more with also local members. And that's also always a bit tricky. So where should we go first? Should we support the national organizations or the local? We do support at both levels, but indeed one of our goals was to reach more people in everything we do. We have been talking a lot about the regional growth and development academies instead of having one big academy usually before the European conference every year, switching that into several minor regional growth and development academies where we were able to train and support more people. So that was, of course, a huge change and one of our focus areas, as well as also the health checklist. That was something started last year. The health checklist is for local and national organization. So it's a way to take a check on how your organization is doing. Are you in a crisis, or are you just going along very well and not really needing the support? So it's a tool to give insights also for us when we are going to support. They started it last year, and 2020 is really the year where we're going to take that tool into use in the different organizations. Then there is also additional things. One was the mentoring program. We do talk a lot about mentoring in general. What is special for EDC is that in EDC, we focus on developing our organization at a European level, a national level, and at the local levels. In a lot of the other academies and trainings we do in JCI, we focus on personal growth. But for EDC, we focus on the organization and developing the organizations together with you guys all around Europe. So the mentoring program is a mentoring program for supporting local and national organizations, with combining them with a mentor. A program that, if you saw the last newsletter, is just ready to roll out, and we have 5 applications, 5 mentors, 5 local organizations. Then indeed, and that's basically supporting and echoing what Marion said, more insights for the members, knowing about what is it we're doing as a Europe board at the European level as officers. So the position that Manuela is having, Counselor for Impact and Promotion, but also supporting with communication at a European level, is a joint effort, and indeed one of our focus points as well. And then one of the things that we are really focusing on and need to focus on is, even though we have a portfolio for new national organizations, that portfolio also supports how to start new local organizations. So whenever there is a need for starting a local organization, we are also able to help. And that indeed is one of the focus points. And going back to what I said in the beginning, touching base with members on the ground, and not necessarily always the national board, that is one of the things that we really, really wanted to emphasize in this year.
Wow. Thanks for the great explanation of all the portfolios and the plans. And this is still continuing like as planned, or is there any adaptation because of the corona situation?
Well, there indeed is adaptation. For EDC, it's not unusual, and not for officers in general, to work remotely, because we are in different countries, and that is what we do. But still, especially for the regional growth and development academies. So until now, we have 4 academies that were supposed to be taking place in March, 1 in March and 3 in April, that is postponed. And that was really our setup for that part, and testing the concept, and looking forward to also educating members on the ground on how to use the tools, so that the tools can be used without having necessarily the EDC counselors or the JCI Europe team present. And of course, that is a thing that is changed as well. And I think in the beginning of the corona crisis, everybody needed a moment to adapt to it. And then you look at your local organization and your national organization, and then the international perspectives comes after that. But we are indeed still ready to work remotely, and also, as Marion explained, there are still so many opportunities in it, because it's also a way to bring people together. We are from so many places in the world, and here we can be together in the same seminar at the same time.
Thank you very much. Yeah, about the challenges and especially about the opportunities that are in it, we will talk about that later. Now we have our Secretary General, Kevin, and I think it's a special situation as well that you just started this year, also with your new duty. So start, and Chakalaka, we have also the corona situation. But what were your plans, or are your plans for a headquarters site for 2020, or even longer?
Thank you, Manuela, for inviting me this evening, and good evening to all the members of JCI Europe. It's good to see you again. Greetings from Monaco. For those of you who don't know me, I'm currently the JCI Secretary General, but I was the Executive Vice President for Europe 2 years ago. So it's good to see everybody again and to be back in Europe. So yeah, if I want challenges, it wouldn't be fun, would it? But actually, we started the year at JCI headquarters with 2 major goals. So my role is to manage the team at JCI headquarters in St. Louis and all around the world, and also to help implement the global strategy and assist the board of directors and executive committee in that role. Our first target was to implement the new JCI tagline, which was changed in 2019. So it goes in line with what Marion was saying about rebranding. The new tagline is developing leaders for a changing world. So it's no longer global leadership of young active citizens. What that changes is basically defining what JCI is. Of course, our goal is still to obtain positive change, but it's no longer to attain positive change at all costs. Positive change is not the do-all and end-all of what we're doing, and we're not looking for members to help JCI to do community projects and positive change anymore. Our goal is now to serve our members on the ground, who at the end of the day are our customers. It's about making our members feel special. It's all about empowering our members and giving them the leadership skills, developing their opportunities via 4 areas: projects in business, in entrepreneurship, in international cooperation, in community impact, and also individual development. And then once they're ready, then they can go out and change the world in 5 or 10 or 20 years and become leaders in government, civil society, or business. Because at the end of the day, if our members cannot change the world if they can't pay their bills, as President Pascal Dique once said. So we need to get members skilled first and foremost. So we're doing that by rebranding and changing all our marketing voice, our communications, and our PowerPoint slides as well, which will be our global look and our messaging, which will be very different shortly. The second thing we're implementing is the strategic plan and accelerating transformation. So again, we're focusing on our members first and foremost, reviewing events, making them more member-centric. We're working on a new creative entrepreneur program, which will hopefully be implemented soon. We're looking at a new IT platform, which will be implemented quickly as well, which will enable you to network both on projects, on twinning programs, but also on business, because business is no longer a taboo word at JCI headquarters or in JCI in general. Neither is networking, neither is entrepreneurship. And finally, we're looking at reviewing all sorts of things in terms of our strategy. So Manuela, if I may move into the next question on how we're adapting now. Actually, things aren't changing that much from what we're doing, given the current COVID-19 pandemic. Of course, it's a tragic situation, and it is causing some disruption in terms of events. Like right now, I should have been in South Korea on my way to a meeting of a board of a Ban Ki-moon Foundation, but we're going to do it online instead. So it's a lot less travel than initially planned, of course. But at the end of the day, it's not changing that much. At the beginning, I was thinking, when this crisis did hit, I was thinking, oh, wow, we're going to have to change our whole strategy. And as things went by after a couple of days, we started to think, no, actually, this is an opportunity to accelerate our transformation even more, to go digital, to use online trainings, to engage with members on the ground in a way which we couldn't have done just by traveling. It's all about flattening the pyramid between the top and the bottom and empowering the members on the ground who create the positive impact every day. And this is what we're doing at JCI. From my side, we have meetings, instead of 2 weekly meetings every 2 weeks with my team at JCI headquarters, we have meetings 3 times a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, to touch base, plus a big global meeting every 2 weeks with an agenda and minutes, which President Itai also joins. So this has actually helped us get closer as a team and work in the same direction. The fact that we're not traveling has enabled us to work more on strategy and to implement where we're going now, to push forward and to accelerate the development of our new IT platform, which will help benefit the members more. So yes, these challenges are something which we're using to transform into opportunities. While we're not spending time running around on planes, we can actually engage, do webinars with members from all around the world, and to really turn JCI into the global network which it has been for a long time and which is really helping us redefine ourselves now. But more in the next question. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kevin, for the explanations, and it's really great to hear what you are planning from HQ side, what you want to change and what the goals are. So thank you very much for those insights. It really looks like a great future ahead. How do you say, the best time is yet to come?
Best is yet to come, and we must all play our parts.
Yeah, great. May I just add, there was a question about the timeline for the new website. There was just a question raised for you. If you want to.
We're actually doing this new website in 2 phases. We have a front end and a back end, and our #1 priority right now is to fix the front end, make sure the messaging is no longer community focused, but in line with 4 areas of opportunity: business, individual, community, and international. So going back to basics, to what JCI was 10 years ago and going back to being a leadership organization. This should be ready by the end of May, actually. So it's going to be a very simple brochure website: who we are, what we do, how to get in touch with us, so that any member or partner is totally aligned concretely with who we are and what our main goals are. The second phase will be a whole new back-end website, which will be much, much more sophisticated, hopefully we'll have less bugs. We're going to make sure it's alpha, beta, gamma, delta, omega tested until it actually works properly before it goes online. And that should be ready at the beginning of next year. So we're going to take the time to work on something good to serve our members the most. But you'll already see some green shoots quickly, both in the new annual report, which will be our new way of communicating, and the new brochure website, which will be ready soon. So I hope that answers your question. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin, for answering the questions and those details. I mean, you all three mentioned already that the corona situation is not the one that we expected, and that it has affected the plans and goals. But there are a lot of opportunities in this situation as well, and at least you take this as opportunities. So I don't know, Marion, if you want to start to answer about the opportunities, but all of the three feel free to answer about how we can turn the situation into opportunities, how you specifically, or as JCI Europe, EDC, HQ, use this as opportunity, and also what can our members do as opportunities in this situation.
Yes. Yeah, as I said, of course, we have a lot of things that are happening online, but I also want to emphasize that you could look at it like, okay, I have been in my position, everything in JCI is for 1 year. So you've been in either a local president or national president or a local board member or whatever since the beginning of January. And you might think, oh, my year is ruined because I had planned to go to all these great events and they're all canceled, and we wanted to organize all these great projects and we all had to cancel them, and we were working hard to organize our national convention and now it's canceled, so it's all ruined. But of course, that is very much a pity if you've been working hard towards something and it doesn't happen. But I want to then emphasize the learning opportunity that it gives. We are all here to learn. JCI is here for us to learn. We take a position to learn from that position. We do things to learn by doing. And if everything always would be going well, we would learn less. I think we learn the most from our mistakes, but we also learn from unexpected situations and things going wrong, so to say. So I would really want to emphasize that we should focus on what do we learn from this situation, and that it's a unique situation. Even though it is terrible for some, especially like people who get the disease or people in local businesses that are going broke. But I want to focus on, if you are in a JCI position, don't be disappointed that this is your year. Be happy that you got this opportunity to learn. And next time when you organize an event, you'll make sure that the contract that you sign with the organizer, it has a cancellation policy that is decent, because now you know that events can actually be cancelled. So these are all things that you can learn and take away.
You to remember.
Thank you. Natascha?
Thank you. Yes, well, first of all, I agree with Marion. There is huge opportunities in this. Well, nothing beats the personal contact between people, but that's why we are super lucky in a situation like this, that we live in 2020 with all the tools available. So we still have the feeling of being close together. I truly hope that we in JCI will turn this situation into our benefit, because it's also an opportunity to really do a difference also in our local communities. I see a lot of great things going on around in the different organizations. Maybe you saw the one from Switzerland, think global, buy local. Just adjusting the frame that has been used before. So that is a way to support also, as SG Kevin mentioned before, supporting in the local businesses and so. One of the things that just in general for a global perspective that I'm super concerned about is the youth unemployment for when we look 1 year ahead. But this is also where JCI should really show the strengths we have, because it's now that we need to recruit even more people. It's now that we need to step up our games for the development plans for our members, so that if this hits for our members, that they are in a situation with this case and youth unemployment looking into 6 months to a year from now, then they are just in a better position that so many other people is having the same situation, so that they're developing their skills within. So it's really now that we in JCI need to take a step closer to our mission and to support in any way we can, so that we develop our members, because that is an opportunity for JCI. And one of the funny things is that, from my perspective, the more challenging the world is, the easier I believe it is to sell JCI, because it's really here we see what we can do in JCI and where we differ from so many other organizations, because our core values is to develop human capacity, and not that many other organizations has that as a clear mission. And if we really focus on that, then this is going to be a huge opportunity for us, even though the circumstances are super challenging. It's also a situation where we can, just shortly, where we can get closer to our partners, because everybody is having, or more or less having, a lot of time being in lockdown at home. So the digital world is our benefit. So if we can support our partners and our organizations by getting an even further reach out, then we are in a good situation, and it's easier for us to come back to them another time. So it's definitely a way to, or a time to both recruit and also get more close and in contact with our partners.
Good point. Kevin, you're ready?
You guys have already, Marion and Natascha have already said everything I wanted to say. Actually, yeah, from a global perspective, we're also looking at turning these challenges into opportunities, of course, and as we should do in any form of crisis situation, despite the tragic versions. The way we see it is making sure that JCI remains relevant to our members in these challenging times. And to do that, we're focusing again on how we are positioned and how we defined ourselves. We had lots of questions over the last few weeks about why we're not doing a global charity campaign or humanitarian campaign, collecting money to get face masks and ventilators and stuff like that. And we had a discussion in the executive committee, and the answer was simple. Why don't we do it? Because we're not a charity. Let's make it very clear. We're not a humanitarian organization. There's the Red Cross and organizations like that which do it 100 times better than we do, and who can make it 100 times more effective on the ground. So let's the Red Cross do what they are best at, and we should do what we are best at, which is creating leaders and showing the way forward in different ways. And the way where we can shine is in the next phase of the crisis. As Natascha was saying, there's going to be huge youth unemployment. Small businesses, which are the heart and soul of local communities in Italy or in all sorts of, or in rural areas, are going to suffer the most. And it's these family businesses which, if they collapse, will cause the collapse of small villages as well, and all sorts of communities. So we honestly need to make that point very clear. Focus on sustaining economies, but also focus on revitalizing businesses, redynamizing small businesses, supporting startups, supporting small entrepreneurs. This is where we can really show our niche, find our voice, and create our proper competitive advantage. And of course, business will not resume as normal. There will be some small businesses left on the side, and there will be a kind of natural selection where the companies with the most solid business plans and the most forward-thinking and agile ones are the ones which will survive. So we should encourage entrepreneurship at this point in time. We're also focusing on working, it's just an idea right now, but creating a new skills development and training course on financial management for non-financial managers, but also one on creating entrepreneurs as well, especially those who have lost their jobs in the crisis. So we need to focus also on solidarity and on caring and creating a more sustainable world, building this from the ruins of a pandemic. So corporate social responsibility, individual social responsibility, and sustainable cities will also be a key focus of our actions. So I'd like to conclude by saying that, you know, we need to really show to the world right now, and especially talking to local presidents who are presidents of small local organizations. I know there are lots of them in Europe right now, to show what JCI can do to really bridge the gap between the three sectors of society, get closer to businesses, get closer to local government, and to eventually to other civil society organizations, and lead the way. Let's not forget who we are at JCI. We're here to lead, to grow, and to empower. And we must not all forget that we are a global network. Everybody is in the same boat. We're all in this together. And if you can't get ideas in your local organization, look to your regional organization, look to your national organization, look to what's going on around in Europe, and look to what's going around the world. This is the strength of all these online trainings we've got. You can really discover the whole world from your computers right now and from your desktops. So let's all be strong and stay positive. And as I was saying before, the best is yet to come. But we all need to play our part in making JCI incredibly relevant and focusing on economic recovery in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, all of you three, for the opportunities and how to see it from the various perspectives, from being a JCI leader and feeling a bit sad about the current situation, that it is not the case, that there are a lot of learning opportunities. Also the situation with the skills that our members can have and further develop to address also the challenges that we have in the real world with unemployment for the members. And thanks Kevin, for the focus on the business side as well, and the solidarity worldwide. I don't know if you wanted to say something, Natascha, then please go ahead. Otherwise, I had also one idea in mind when hearing you, and also about talking about the three sectors of society and being locked in our homes, while we have this idea of a European continent, of European solidarity, of having a strong European continent. And right now we are all limited in our rights to travel, limited in our rights to act freely. This is also a little bit of hope when talking about the local governments or the European governments, that this is just a temporary situation, and that our governments don't take this opportunity to change our democracies and our democratic values, which also refers to the JCI values. If you want to add something, and you're more than welcome. I saw some questions on the chat. Maybe Ruth, I think you are the one to manage the questions, if you want to ask them shortly.
Sure, there was one question that actually already received a lot of comments, and it was in regards to a partnership to have an online video conferencing software that national organizations or local organizations can use to facilitate and encourage more online activities from our members. And we already had some comments there, even from France that had a partnership with Microsoft and SharePoint Suite already, that give it to every French member of JCI. So maybe that's a good question where we can have some tune in also from Kevin or from others.
Yes, thank you for that question. Obviously this is an opportunity to seek partnerships right now. Yes, and thank you for mentioning that JCI France have this very solid partnership with Microsoft Teams, notably, which I took part in a conference call with the local presidents of France on Teams a couple of weeks ago, which was very fun and instructive. Yes, we're looking at testing different platforms right now, and I know that we do have partnerships at different levels in Europe as well. So this is still a work in progress. I think we still haven't figured anything out as a global partnership yet. I'm sure that companies like Zoom and Click Meeting, which is used globally at JCI Europe as well on webinars, are extremely solicited right now for partnerships of all kinds. So we need to look at what makes us stand out first and think about things before soliciting companies. So this is something we're working on over the next couple of weeks, and then I will be conferring with different areas as well. But this is a very relevant point. Thank you.
If I may add.
Yes, please.
Yeah, when I was in the Skills Development Committee in 2016, we were already looking into webinar tools. And when I was going through all the possible tools, I came out to Click Meeting. And the advantage of Click Meeting is that you can set up a session as an organizer and then invite someone else as a presenter, and that person can run it independently. We contacted them back then for a partnership. They didn't want to go into a partnership, but they do have an NGO or non-profit account. So we did take that non-profit account, so we still have it. It can still be used by members. So it's not really a partnership, but it is like a non-profit deal that we have with Click Meeting. We can only run one session at a time. So when it becomes very popular, we will have to buy another user. So that we can run multiple sessions, or if the size is not enough, we have to increase it. But first we have to see that there's actually interest in people using it. So if you want to use Click Meeting instead of Zoom for whatever reason, you can contact us and we can set up a session.
Thank you. So then I think we continue then. I mean, your questions are not forgotten. So in case we don't answer them right now in the Zoom meeting, there's still the opportunity or the chance to answer them in the chat comment. And talking about the opportunities that we can see in this Corona crisis, we like to show you two projects that are set up as a European-wide project, and I'm happy to give over the word to Isabel, who is the organizer of this JCI Hackathon event that is organized by JCI Nottingham. So Isabel, please tell us what is your project about, who can join that, etc.
Good evening. Thank you very, very much for a very good panel discussion. It was very great and very positive to listen to. The last weeks have indeed been very, very hard on all of JCI. But as we have heard today many, many times, the crisis is also a great opportunity. And especially for us, JCs, because this is what we do. We see problems, we create projects, and we tackle the problems. And although it's much, much harder now because we cannot physically meet up, we don't have a lot of motivation, it's still not impossible to make projects. And this is exactly what we are doing in JCI Nottingham. So on the 2nd of May, which is this Saturday, we are holding an online one-day event called JCI Hackathon, where we virtually come together. We locate the problems that have arisen due to COVID-19, and then we do what we know the best. We will just take the problems, create projects, and tackle them. So if we could move on to the next slide. So if you ask me what does this JCI Hackathon, how does it really work? The first thing is that you need to register your interest. You need to choose the area that you're interested in, where you want to tackle the problems. And then we will put you into a group of 4 to 6 people. And in these groups, using the Zoom platform, you will find a problem that you would like to tackle. And in this one-day event, you will produce a full project plan and a budget. And in the end, you will create a 2-minute pitch that will be presented to everyone. So in the end, what we will have is tons of great projects that we can actively start using and really help ourselves out of the crisis. So if that project sounds good to you, you can register, I think, through JCI Europe's Facebook page. I think our event is on there. Or if you don't find it, then you can just type in on Facebook JCI Hackathon, and you will find our event.
Thank you very much. So just for one question, I really like that you're addressing the 4 areas of opportunities with business, community, international, individual development. When the challenges, the problems that are discussed and worked on, that it depends on the groups, what they decide then which challenges and topics they want to work on, right?
Exactly. When you are registering, you will choose 2 areas that you are interested in, and then based on the interests, we can put together the groups.
Great. It sounds really like a great initiative, and I'm really interested in what the outcome will be, how many projects after that will be there for JCI Europe. And there's also the plan after that to continue with those projects and solutions that you found during the hackathon?
Exactly. The point is to bring people together, because in Corona times, a lot of chambers find themselves to be a little bit less active as they used to be. So our initiative is to bring people together, to really make them work and really come up with good ideas that can, in the end, help our community.
Sounds great. So yes, please register, all of you, on the website for your project. You'll find a link on the Facebook page from JCI Europe, but also, of course, on the JCI Hackathon. So thank you very much, Isabel, for showing it to us.
Thank you.
And organizing it. And then we have another project, which is called Europe Near Me. Here we have Andreea from JCI France. She's organizing it as a challenge, as far as I learned. So Andreea, it's your turn to explain us the challenge that you have in mind.
Good evening, everyone. Bonsoir from Montpellier. I hope you are all doing well and you are healthy and home. I'm here tonight to present you a project that we developed in the last days in Montpellier. It's a campaign, Europe Near Us. Because the month of May is approaching, and every year we are talking a lot about Europe, which is normal because 9 May it's the day of Europe. We were thinking that this year we can launch a campaign that is called Europe Near Us, and where we put together some information about European projects funded by European cohesion policies. So if you will pass at the next slide, you will see that this campaign is a contest because we will have some prizes, and the objective of our initiative is to talk about Europe. What is Europe doing in your community, in your city, and in your region? For us, we forget in this crisis period, in this difficult period, we forget. We think about our nationality, but we don't speak about the help of Europe. So I think it's important to highlight a little bit what Europe has done for us in the last 7 years with the European cohesion policy. So if you want to participate between 1st and 15 May, you can put together a video where you are presenting a project that was financed in your city or in your region. At the end of the presentation, you will see all the links where you can find project, because it's maybe you don't know the project, you will discover tomorrow or today, but it's a project that helps your community. And the idea is this: you make a video about this project, you put it on your social media with the hashtags EU Near Me, United in Diversity, Montpellier, and JCI. You promote your video worldwide. You will share it everywhere you like it. And after that, you can send us an email at our address, contact JCI Montpellier.fr. And we will have two prizes. One prize is with regional products, or if you prefer, we can send you the equivalent in money. Or the second prize, it's the popularity prize. So it's for the video that will have the most likes, comments, shares, and the most views also. So for us, and in Europe, I think it's important to step up and to talk more about what Europeans doing. It's developing for us. So let's step up together for Europe and participate in our campaign. Our partner, House of Europe, is delighted to work with us and to know more about the JCI at European level. So if you need other information, I will put the link of our event in the chat also, and I will try to invite everyone that I know from the JCI members group to our event. And if you have any questions, you can contact us. We will explain you exactly how you can participate. So we are waiting in the next 2 weeks, lots of videos and lots of energy around the subject of Europe. Thank you very much. Merci. Bonne soirée.
Thank you very much, Andreea, for the presentation of this project. It's really the European idea behind that, to bring it all together. So thanks for your initiative. Just one question. JCI Europe has even more countries than only those that are part of the European Union. Is there also the opportunity for them to take part and to share the videos with the idea of being one Europe?
They are part of because we have some programs that we develop in partnership with the countries that are not yet members. So if they have a project that was financed by the European Union, yes, they can present that project. But the maximum, it's 2 minutes, because we want to put it everywhere, in Twitter, in Facebook, in LinkedIn. The idea is to make a lot of noise about this project. So we need to synthesize a little bit the information in 2 minutes.
Okay, so it is really meant like a European-wide project, and it should show how we can work together and how we perceive Europe with us, even though we are not traveling at the moment as normal. Yeah. Wow. Thanks for the 2 great projects and initiatives. So we hope that both projects get a lot of participants and a lot of people taking part in promoting it. I think it's really important to show how we can work together all over Europe, and yeah, show the solidarity and the common youth that we have. It would be the last chance for you, Marion, Natascha, Kevin, if you want to address something to the audience. Otherwise, we will be at the end of our session. So Ruth will share the results of the survey. So is there anything you want to say?
I think there was a great final question for everyone in just less than a sentence that came up, and it was what keeps you upbeat and positive during this time. And I think that's a wonderful questions for all of our presenters tonight. If you can just say that with only a few words, and then we'll come to the final results. Thank you, Manuela.
Yeah, I can say something. What keeps me going is I think there's always something positive to get from every situation, and I always like to focus on the positive and think of solutions. It also helps that the weather has been really great, and being at home and having a nice garden to sit in makes it a lot easier than when you'd be I don't know, in a more difficult situation. So yeah, positivity and problem solving always keep me going.
Yeah, well, basically the same that normally does for most of it. The desire to succeed. When we talk about JCI, it is 1 year to lead, which means you only get the chance once for each position. So if you want to make a difference, it's the current time, even though that this time is very unpredictable and not as we expected. So that's really a part of it, getting the best out of it. Because we do still have the responsibility in the different positions, each and every one of us. And then on a more personal note, I do a lot of walks with the puppy. I bought a puppy 2 months ago, so getting out and getting some fresh air, that really helps in a time with lockdown.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good question, actually. What I do to try to stay upbeat is, first of all, I'm really lucky to be in one of the rare positions where I can be over 40 and still contribute to JCI and do a job which I absolutely love, and even more so right now. So I'm really, really lucky to be in this position. Also, yeah, and it helps me to contribute to a certain degree and to turn challenges into opportunities. It helps me develop my personal skills and to help others in this role and to keep supporting JCI and making us turn the corner and to bring us to the next level. And on a personal note, it's also nice because I spent the first 7 weeks of the year traveling non-stop around the world, and I was completely exhausted by then. So having spent the last 2 months has helped me to spend more time at home, enjoy my home in Monaco as well, which I've hardly spent any time in over the last 3 years. And also to prove to myself finally that my hair can actually grow a bit longer after 3 months. So that's always a good challenge for myself. So yes, I always live in an optimistic manner and always believe that the best is yet to come, and also that everything happens for a reason. So we're just going around the corner and looking forward to a fantastic next few months where we can really show what JCI can do to change the world. Thank you.
Thank you. So we're curious about the results, right, Ruth?
Yes, and while I go and search to the results, Manuela, do you also want to share the final, before we actually switch screens, share the final? Yes, wonderful. So we're so excited that you're all joining us and that we had our great guests tonight. It's really wonderful, and more than 50 always in the live stream. So we are so excited for that. And I'm also excited that I did have Manuela as my co-host, since actually my internet went out, and I thought, oh no, everything went down, but then wonderfully you all are still up and running and on Facebook Live. So this is also very exciting, and as we are in JCI, you know, there's always someone that can have you back when something falls down. So very thankful for that, Manuela. Thank you for guiding us through the evening and for showing us now the outlook, which is that we'll have a next JCI Europe Live on Monday, May 25th, again at 7 p.m. And we'll go Facebook Live again. We'll make sure to put it in the event as well. We had a few comments on that. So thank you all for mentioning that. And we actually will portray other projects. So we would love to have your projects. You see the link here, JCI Unite. We've already really portrayed 5 projects. Now we had 2 great new initiatives tonight, and we're looking forward to sharing your projects and what you're doing in the local communities to really keep up with those challenges. And by saying something positive, I will actually go to the Menti that we've had running throughout this presentation. and will share my presentation if everything goes as planned, and that's wonderful. Are you currently working on a JCI project? And we wanted to ask that question to really see where is it going. And it's wonderful that more than 20 people have participated, and 17 have actually said that yes, you are working on new projects since the crisis. And I think that's a great way of also showing what our Secretary General mentioned, how we are transforming our organization and reacting in those challenging times. And the second question was, what kind of JCI training would you be interested in? And thank you for also answering that question, so that we can make sure that we offer additional trainings coming up from the European Development Council and from JCI. And if you have a specific training in mind, please do post that as well in the chat and let us know if there's anything that you want to see. Let us know trainings that you've offered already. I know we have a lot of trainers as well watching tonight, and thank you all for giving the great trainings that you've already done. And for being with us tonight on the meeting. I think we are almost at the end. Manuela, any final words that you want to share with the audience?
I just have to say thank you to all of you. Thanks you, Ruth, for being the co-host. It's a great collaboration. The second time, I'm looking forward to the next time as well. And thanks to all of you, Marion, Natascha, and Kevin, for your positive words, for letting us know the plans, the goals, the adaptations, and also the positive words for all of us, how we can continue, how we can be sure to address the relevant topics in the crisis, and don't, how to say, hide us in our local homes. And thanks also to Andreea and Isabel for your great initiatives and the European-wide projects to take this opportunity for the Europe mindset and continue with that idea as JCI Europe as well. So thank you very much. That's from my side, Ruth, and thanks for the survey and all this input. It's also good to see, and thanks of course to the audience and the questions that we got from the audience. So
wonderful. Well, it was great seeing everyone, and I think we should say bye now. It was really wonderful having all of you. Thank you for joining us, and have a great evening.